There's the rooster. Marion and Rich Patterson with Winding Pathways, and Kelsey Spots from Hoover's Hatchery is on the camera with us today. It's November. Everything pumpkin, and we might even give you a few reminders at the end of our talk here. Food, glorious food, hot sausage and mustard, while we're in the mood, cold jelly and custard. Well, the chickens, look at them there. They're not eating cold jelly and custard, but they are eating a really good kind of feed that Rich is going to talk about. But we went to the store the other day, and I usually let Rich take care of all the buying. But I went over and I looked and I said, I wonder what that is, how it's different from this guy, or that guy, and then this one. So I asked Rich, how do I know which one to buy and why? So there are different prices, different types. Tell us a little bit about that.
But we'll start with one that's free. It is November, so we're done with Halloween pumpkins, and chickens love pumpkin seeds. And they love the insides of the pumpkin. So if you've still got an old pumpkin, an old jack-o'-lantern laying around, cut it in half, or throw it down so it breaks in half, put it out for the chickens, and they will enjoy the treat. So that's the free food.
That's the free food.
You go to the feed store, the farm store, and often you will see piles of bags of feed, different kinds of feed there. How in the world do you decide what is the right one to buy?
I don't know, but Rich does know, and he's going to give you some tips on what to look for.
First of all, the simple part is that all of the feed manufacturers in the big print say on it what this is designed for. So, layer feed.
All right, right there.
So if you are feeding layers like we are, there might be a dozen different kinds of layer feed, but you want layer feed. Okay. You don't want chick starter grower, and you don't want layer feed. So that's the easy part.
All right, so the big print is what you look for there. Okay.
Then comes the fine print, and it becomes complicated. And typically you might see feeds made by 3 or even 4 different companies there. Almost all of them have a kind of base feed, and it's good. It will satisfy all of the nutritional needs of a chicken, but there's nothing fancy or special in it. Okay? So it is the least expensive. Mm-hmm. Then they often will have a better grade.
All right.
And it has things in it like essential oils.
Essential oils? What's that all about?
Essential oils that maybe make the feathers better. Maybe they lay a little bit better. Maybe they're a little healthy. But the key one is in there. We'll say marigold extract or marigold petals. And if it says that, you know it's a higher quality feed.
So somewhere in here says marigold petals, but I don't know where exactly. All right.
Here's the easy thing to do and an easy way to look. In the seams of most bags here is sewed the contents. Yep. So they give you a little information on the bag, more in the contents. And the bare bone feed, this is the ingredients there, 24 cents a pound. The fancier one that has the marigold and all, just look at the difference in the length of ingredients.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't want to be trying to read that in the store. So what I've done is I take my cell phone, I go through the store, and I take a picture. I take a picture of a whole bunch of these different tags.
Right.
And people maybe look at me and say, what in the world is he doing? But then I can take that home and I can actually blow up the print to make it bigger sized, and I can compare what's in one feed versus another feed. Then I go back and buy the ones I want.
Okay, so that sounds really good.
So we have very basic, good feed. We've got a step up that has essential oils and marigolds. Those marigold petals will make the yolks beautiful. They'll be the dark orange that people like. The basic one won't do that. That's the yolks of a store-bought egg.
Okay, so if I'm in production with many chickens, I want to get good feed, but watch my costs. And if I don't have to be as attentive, I can get a better grade. And the bags are the same, right? Oh, wait a minute. No, they're not quite exactly the same.
Bags are the same size, but one thing that's on that bag that is important to know, most of these come in 50 pounds.
Right.
Weight, 50 pounds. Some of them come in 40-pound bags.
Oh.
So, and it's a little less expensive, but you need to look at that price, and ooh, that one's cheaper over there, but then look at that and do the rough math and get the best price per pound.
Okay, so we're talking shrinkflation and then inflation. Okay, so here you go. And now this bag over here, that one actually looks a whole bunch smaller. And what's that kind of feed over there? That's
This kind of a 30-pound bag.
30 pounds.
30 pounds, and it is a layer feed, but it's very different. These are pellets. These two are pelleted feed. That's what it looks like. This is a layer
Look
feed.
at that.
That is actually a whole variety of grains and additives. There's even peas in there.
Isn't that beautiful? I see the little green peas there, maybe sunflower seeds. Oh, that's fabulous.
And chickens absolutely love it. They love it. And it produces lots of wonderful eggs, but 73 cents a pound.
All right, so if I'm in production for a lot of chickens, I'm not going there. But so who are the people who buy the smaller bag but really super feed? And let's take a look. The chickens right now are eating some of that super feed right there that we tossed out. And is it a little bit like, you don't want to feed it to them all the time.
What I do with the better quality feeds in the summertime, we've got this big run behind Kelsey out there, and it's full of flowers and grasses and insects.
Right.
And the chickens are out there eating that, and they're getting plenty of those colors, and they're getting plenty of nutrition. So in the summertime, I will put inside here the less expensive feed.
Okay.
It's adequate. They don't need all the color. When everything dies back about now, wintertime, there's not much to eat in the run
Right.
there. And then I switch to the higher quality.
Okay.
And it maintains that nice orange yolk in there. And also, we've got 10 hens.
Right.
If I had 1,000 hens, ooh, that would be a real big difference in price.
Yeah,
But
3 times the amount of money there than here. And this is a good feed. It's just not fancy.
yes,
Yeah.
there's absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
good.
All right, so where do I want to be storing this? Now that it's winter time, we want to keep it in a safe place because not only is it getting damp and cold, but also the mice are saying, ooh, wow, this is pretty good food. How do we keep our feed safe?
Well, it's easy. You do it in a metal trash can with a good tight fitting hole.
Okay.
And the mice can't get in.
All right,
Okay.
so that's easy enough.
And it also keeps a little bit of the humidity out, I think. So we don't buy lots of feed at a time. Feed does spoil, and it can get moldy if you get lots and lots and lots and it's laying around, it's humid. So we tend to buy it about once a month and keep it in here, and then it's always fresh.
Okay, and is there a way you can order that online as well? Because maybe I live a long ways from a store, and I can't always go schlepping down there.
That is a problem, especially for people in big cities. There's not a farm store nearby, but you can order it online. There are several places that will ship chicken feed to your house. It's more expensive, but you can get it, and you don't have to go to the store. It'll show up on your porch.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Okay.
What else do we want to talk about with feed and feed stores and nutrition?
I just wanted to show this as the next step forward in marketing, and I haven't tried it on the chickens, but here we've been in the season of pumpkins, where everything, you go to stores, everything's pumpkin this, pumpkin that. You go to the coffee shop, pumpkin spice, and this feed company
Take a
has
look.
pumpkin spice. Flock, flock,
Henhouse
flock, flock.
Reserve, all right. So that's pretty
You know,
good.
and if you want to really pamper your chickens, you might get one of these. And I'll put this in when the weather closes down. When it's cold, they're not outside very much, I'll put this in and let them peck away at it.
So it gives them something to do too. All right, now I see this little can here. I don't think they're wafer rolls, but I would be interested in that.
Okay.
What's in there?
This is our tip of the month
Okay.
this month, and it really has not too much to do with chickens, but it sort of does. And when it gets icy out, we don't want to take a fall. You know, and we used to buy sand
Right.
and put sand out on the icy sidewalk. And then one year we had a bunch of baby chicks, and I bought chick grit.
Right.
And we now use chick grit because it's better on ice. And if you look at sand, closely, it's kind of round.
Right, because it's been ground down from big rocks. Right.
This has been crushed, and it's angular and it's dark. So when you throw this on the icy sidewalk, it melts into the ice just a little bit and sticks up a little bit, and it's a real good traction surface.
Good.
So I put it in these cans like this, and then on an icy morning, I can just go out and sprinkle it, and it works really well.
All right.
So grit is very important for chickens. Big hens and like our big rooster, this is too small a grit for them, but we give them the bigger size. And the baby chicks like chick grit, but I buy chick grit not for the chickens, but
for us.
for ice.
Yes.
You know.
All right. Great. Is there anything else we want to talk about with feed and little tips of the month?
I think he's got a comment. I think that's probably it for this month, but it is worth looking when you're in the feed store, looking around, and chickens also have some tastes, you know, and if you watch
Preferences, for
carefully,
sure.
preferences,
Yeah.
they might like this one more than that one. They certainly like this one better, but, you know, it's like kids would eat ice cream all the time.
That's right.
We want to be careful.
So again, take a look at what kind of feed you're after. This is layer feed we're talking about, and the labels are big there, and then the small labels tell you all the information you need to know. And if you're not real sure, take a picture, take it home, and then blow it up so you can look at the different ingredients there. And Hoover's Hatchery has on their website really good information about different kinds of feeds and the nutritional value. So, thanks for coming today. Marion and Rich Patterson with Winding Pathways, Doodle Do the Rooster, and Kelsey Spots with Hoover's Hatchery. So, thanks for coming. Beautiful November day, and hope you're having a good day too. See you later.